Welcome to a nutty adventure exploring personal growth and wellness, breaking down the stigma around mental health along the way. Let's dive in because now it's time to show me your nuts.
Well, it's a good thing that thing brings me into a good mood every Tuesday because I did not start out this morning that way. So, we got to go with all the moods, right? Welcome to Tuesday again. And, as that always means, it's time to show me your nuts. And this week, we are diving into another piece of our values. And so we're talking about values in relationships and kind of like how we each bring different values into our relationship. What are the values we bring into our relationships? And frankly, even how those values impact our relationships. But I titled this episode Relationship Glue because to me, the values usually end up gluing the relationships together, like usually in a good way. Sometimes you get sticky with people in, other ways, but values in our relationships are either they bring us together in and glue us together, or sometimes we get sticky with each other and it's a sticky kind of glue. So we're going to talk about that kind of thing and how we negotiate it and how our shared relationships or our shared values influence those relationships. We're going to talk about the role of our values in building strong connections and sharing stories of our value-based relationships, like what's in our values-based relationships. So, we've got a couple people in the chat. We've actually got a bunch of people in chat. Some whom I know and some I don't know if I know who there are people. It says there's 23 people watching. I think that's a first. One of them is, of course, Jessica Dugas saying Happy Nutty Tuesday as she does. So I am also excited because I didn't tell you guys, but we've got a special guest hiding in the green room right now. My dear friend Carolee from Go Brunch is hanging out in the green room, and we are going to chat about relationships. I'm sorry, the chat has got me like kind of discombobulated here as to where my stuff is. All right, I have my stuff situated now. Let me go back. So we're going to talk about Carolee and I are going to talk because her love language is time, and specifically quality time, and the fact we can't get it back once we spend it, and how that ties in with relationship glue, how time with others, any kind of time with another human being is so valuable, and we can't get it back after we spend it. Or after we spend it, we've been given a gift. And so this partly came up this last week. Carolee and I spent the gift of time with each other, and we very quickly I don't know how we quickly spent an hour of a half hour. We planned a half hour. We quickly, of course, spent a half hour, and we could have been on for 4 hours just hanging out, getting to know each other more, talking about things like music and family and values. And just now we were talking about good coffee and good coffee type drinks. So we don't always spend that kind of time with people, and we find out what the other person values and what the other person loves, and we teach each other how to we teach ourselves how to appreciate other people more. So, without any much more ado, I am going to bring her up as a guest. Carolee Valeriano, welcome to Show Me Your Nuts.
Thank you. It's so
Or-
good to be here, Stacy.
And it's early morning for you. I super appreciate the fact that you came on this early in the morning to come on and hang with us. And Jessica says, "Hey, Tuesday tea." Yes, it's early Tuesday tea with Carolee today.
Yeah.
In the Show Me Your Nuts studio even.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you for coming by.
My pleasure.
And the room where the studio we're in, it looks, quite like the other place that we hang out, right?
It does. Yeah. It's very hygge,
Yes.
which is Danish for cozy.
It's say the word again because I've never known how to say it.
Hygge. So
Hygge.
it's something like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you say a Y with a O-shaped mouth. Hygge.
Hygge. See, yeah, I've never been able to figure out how to say it. I understood that the concept of the word is like cozy and comfortable and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this room there actually is a Go Brunch room. For those of you who know what Go Brunch is, there's a Go Brunch room that is modeled and looks exactly like this, has the circles and the chairs. And when I was conceiving the show, I was conceiving doing it literally from that room. And then we moved over here I moved the show to StreamYard to be on the Go the words this morning. It's Tuesday. I moved the show, or the show, is on the Breakthrough Show Network, and we are on StreamYard. So the amazing Jessica built this stage such that it looks exactly like a Go Brunch room, because she's brilliant like that.
She is brilliant for sure.
That's how the girl rolls. So every show I have a question I ask people. So I'm gonna put our fun about that is how charged are your nuts? And the how charged are your nuts question this morning is, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much glue is in your relationships right now?
Oh.
Right?
With family or with friends?
You can interpret the rest of the question however you would like.
Okay. With family, I'd say it's 8 or 9. With friends, it's probably 2 or 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I felt that drop. It was almost like a temperature drop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's we can only control so much.
Right.
We only have so much we only have the control of ourself in that. And sometimes that drops the amount of glue we may or may not have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking in the comments to see who.
Yeah, this is the
painful glue.
Super glue. Super glue. It is painful.
It can be painful glue, and it can be super glue. It can be super. It can be glue that
Depends how you use it.
It can be the glue that keeps you going in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or it can be the sticky that keeps you stuck to something that is uncomfortable,
or that you're gonna tear something if you try to unstick.
Oh, exactly. Like when you have if we're stuck together with super glue and you pull it apart, somebody's gonna have skin missing.
Yeah.
That I'm just like letting it sink in of because I've had to tear away a relationship
Mm,
in the last in the last we'll just call it the last year. I had at least one relationship that I had to pull myself away from. Um, and I pulled myself away in order to not harm the other person any longer
mm,
because their perception was that I was harming them. And I, those of you who know me, like, and I have a Thursday coffee every week, and the only rule in that coffee is do no harm. And that's because it's like one of my hot, that's a super high value for me is that I do no harm to other human beings.
mhm.
And this person told me that I had harmed them,
Oh,
and I had to sit with it for a long time, and I I chose I chose the option to tear myself away from the relationship so that I would never harm them again. And
yeah.
not because I felt like I was harming them, not because I felt like or not because that like maybe me pulling away from them may have actually harmed them again, but I knew I never wanted to harm them further.
Hmm.
And so I made that choice. And that was
Intention.
hard. That was
Yeah.
hard because I you know, also in doing so, I have no way of letting them know if that's why I did what I did. That's what's going on right now, and in doing so, it literally did rip part of me off.
Yeah.
I ripped part of myself off on purpose to do that.
Hmm.
And so that's yeah,
Doing,
I think the
yeah.
super glue ripping something off, I think that's so vivid.
Doing the right thing can be very painful, for
And
sure.
there she is with the mic drops. There's Carolee with the mic drop. Um, yeah, and so when let's bring it back to the building of the relationships. So in building strong relationships, um, I think it's super important that and not just important. I think it's part of the relationship building process when we meet new people, especially, but even building good relationships with those we know and have known is the importance of shared values.
Hmm.
Almost always start with a shared value,
Hmm.
because that shared thing is what originally, connects the 2 dots, and then we build from I don't know if you guys can see my hands, it's like we
Yeah.
build from there and more shared things, and we get more connected with there's more glue. What do you think on that one?
Yes, absolutely. That's what because usually you're meeting someone at a place where your values are, probably.
Mhm.
So you already have that connection because of the shared whatever that is, whether you're going to a musical thing or taking a walk and you meet I mean, there's so many values that we have, but yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. You
Yeah,
have to have something in common that draws you together.
and, I'll use you and I for an example. We haven't known each other long, but we met over the shared, love of a space
Hmm.
that brings community together and love of community. And then, if I remember right, the first time we actually met was in one of the expos in Go Brunch. And you had come into my room and I was talking about mental wellness, self-care, I think.
Hmm.
And you were talking about you brought your love of those, simple things that are self-care, I think, and that comfort, like we were talking about being in this room of, and taking care of self.
Hmm.
And you brought that. Then we also both realized I have a weekly coffee in that space, and you still have your weekly tea?
I do. I
Yeah.
changed the name.
Change the name of it. Yeah. So there's like, I have a weekly coffee, you have a weekly tea,
Uh-huh.
and that we have these weekly shared social events that bring people together
Mhm.
in that comfort, taking care of each other, taking care of self and each other sort of way. And then we've gone from there, because then the other day when we hung out, we found that you are a musician and I have a love of I'm not a musician, I leave that to my brother, but because of him, I have a love of live music and I have an appreciation for music that's not just, oh, something in the background to listen to, you
Mhm.
know? Not that sometimes it isn't, but I also, like, I go specifically to watch live music on purpose, and not everybody does that apparently. I didn't know.
I know, I can't imagine my life without music.
It plays such a big role
Mhm.
in, like, relaxation, connection, expression of values,
Mhm.
joy, just joy. Like, it brings joy just to hear those vibrations,
Yes, and they're powerful.
and
They're
vibration and frequency being
yeah,
powerful.
yeah.
Um Sorry. I need to turn the comments off because Jessica just popped in with I should change mine to weekly whiskey, so then we can have coffee, tea, and whiskey. Well, one of the things I tell people actually when I'm describing what coffee is like, my it got termed coffee, and it's been going for 6 years, so it 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 has some personality and culture of its own, without my input at sometimes. But I tell people, you don't have to drink coffee, you can drink whiskey, because my favorite drink otherwise is peanut butter whiskey.
What?
Yeah,
I have never heard of that.
ice cold peanut butter whiskey. I literally have some in the freezer. It's in a little jar. I had just enough left in my bottle of peanut butter whiskey that I have like 3 shots. So I took these 3 tiny jars that have lids and put eat, you know,
Like,
3.
it comes that way? It's
No,
like,
it
you
comes in a
make it
bottle.
peanut butter.
Comes in a reg No, it comes as peanut butter whiskey.
Really?
Yes, peanut butter flavored whiskey, and I love it ice cold. So I took what was left in this one bottle and put it in these little jars and it's sitting in the freezer because whiskey doesn't freeze.
Right.
So it's sitting there right now in the freezer, and one of these days,
Calling
I
your
know
name.
I'm gonna just grab one and it's gonna be ice cold and you just sip on it. I
Huh.
love just Now some people, of course, they'll mix it with peanut butter and do the peanut butter chocolate thing, and I I'm weird. My ratio of peanut butter to chocolate is there enough peanut butter? There can be
It
a smidge of chocolate, it's okay, and it's better if it's dark chocolate, but it could be all peanut butter and that would be fine with me.
well, that makes sense since you're the Squirrel Wrangler.
And it fits well with the squirrel. It totally fits really well with the Squirrel
Mhm.
Wrangler for sure. It's not Yeah, I can't I think peanut butter blah, blah. Peanut butter came before the squirrel though, actually, in my
Well,
life.
the peanut butter attracted the squirrel.
Peanut butter probably There we go again. We're gonna come up I know we're gonna come up with a good hashtag today because there's hashtags are just born here. Oh, well, here we go. If you had a squirrel name, Carolee,
Oh,
based on the things you love, the things you are, the values you hold, maybe, what would your squirrel name be?
that's a hard one. I have a lot of values. Um, so, like,
Or just what does it speak to your heart?
well, this is a silly one, but glitter or sparkle, because Huga is all about sparkle, and I want to sparkle in my life. So I think it would be sparkle.
Hello, everyone. Here is our guest, Sparkle Squirrel. Um, and see, I'm gonna bet I would almost bet money that Jessica is currently in Canva doing a photo of Sparkle Squirrel as we speak, 'cause that has happened. I've watched her do that. She's a whiz with lots of things, Canva being one of them.
Yes.
But yeah, we now have Sparkle Squirrel.
Okay.
Welcome to the stage, Sparkle Squirrel.
And which squirrel are you? You're the Wrangler?
I'm the Wrangler.
Okay.
I'm the Wrangler, and Jessica is actually Beach Squirrel.
Beach squirrel, awesome.
Beach Squirrel. And we have so here's Beach Squirrel.
That's so cute.
Here's my mama. She's Cashew Quilt.
Oh,
That's actually a quilt that she
that's beautiful.
she made for me. It's one of my favorites. Let's see if there's somebody else that you would know. This is from a joke from one day, but you know that person as a photographer, camera person, and she also runs an expo where we are.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You probably know this one, who's known as
Uh-huh.
Linda.
Yep. I recognize the glasses.
This
And the
one
cape.
is this one's my friend Paula, who loves puzzles, and those are her business colors in that puzzle.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so we've got some squirrels that we've collected through the show.
This is great.
And then of course today, with legislation being as it is, I'm just gonna have to bring up Alice and say, usually it's retro Alice is pissed.
Mhm.
And Alice is our suffragette social justice advocate. And so today she's over there on Capitol Hill doing some legislative advocacy to move our country forward and get through whatever this not enjoying each other is, because we need to build more positive relationship glue between each other.
Mhm.
But before that, we've got to get over all of the like separations that we've done that have torn us in pieces.
Yeah.
You know, so she's
Get rid of the media.
Get rid of us being told what is real by large corporations
Yes.
and large people with lots of, we'll just call it whoever has lots of money, being the ones who control the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Because we know how to get along with each other as humans other than that.
Mhm.
We're not torn apart.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, if you think about if you just take a walk and talk to your neighbors, you'll realize it's not what it's portrayed to be.
Right. And that we love that as humans, we have more in common than we have apart.
Yes, absolutely.
Just like when it comes down to it, spending time with each other,
Mhm.
having a good cup of coffee or tea or whiskey with each other,
Yep.
listening to some good live music,
Mhm.
even just like you said, going for a walk, but like, out in, and I won't even say it doesn't even have to be out in nature in the woods per se, but being outside. I'm sitting here, I'm listening to the wind chimes right
Mhm.
outside my window
Mhm.
and thinking, oh, there must be a breeze. The wind chimes tell me there's a breeze. I'm not out in the woods. I'm in suburbia. You know,
Mhm.
that you can find little things.
Yes. Have a
And
sense of wonder.
yeah, if we were sitting out on the front porch, drinking our whatever we're drinking, and heard that, it'd be like, oh, creator sent us a breeze, sent us a frequency.
Mhm.
and how and one of the I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was the show that Jessica and I did together on integrity last month, where we talked about words having power.
Oh, yes.
And my favorite little blip from that show is words have power because words are frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Frequency is vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, words have, what did I say? I can't remember how I put it. Words have vibration. Vibration has frequency. Frequency connects us and has power. Like there are the electrons in our body
Mm-hmm.
use vibration and as an energy, and you can either have bad energy coming at each other or you can have good energy. And we're back to the glue again. We're back to, do we tear it apart with super glue, or do we fuse it together with some kind of glue that enjoys each other and flexes, like a
Yeah.
silicone glue or whatever, some kind of glue that like flexes with each other, because we're each still different.
Right.
And we should be, because my God, if we were all the same, it'd be boring AF.
Yeah.
So we need glue that's flexible also. And
What glue would that be?
I was trying to think of like, because like you could do a rubberized glue or a flexible glue.
Mm-hmm.
I know I was literally I was trying to glue some little stickers, some NC or what's it called? NFC stickers. Like, you know how when you take your phone and you tap to pay, or you have
Oh.
your credit card and you tap
Mm-hmm.
to pay now, it's near field technology. It's near field so that whenever you they also make bracelets with it. So when I tap this bracelet onto my phone, it will open up a web page.
Okay.
Or I could program it to open a lock on a door or whatever. You can program the little NFC thing to do it. So
Okay.
I was attempting to take the little sticker that is an NFC and glue it onto those rubberized bracelets, the ones that you can get with like a saying,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And because apparently the sticky on the sticker does not attach to rubber.
Oh.
And you can't just attach anything to rubber. You had to use a silicone glue because it flexed.
Okay.
Flexes. Well, that still was a disaster and didn't work. I have yet, if anybody knows in the comments, how do I attach a sticker to a rubber band, basically, please let me know. Because I still can't find, because it attached, but then it popped
Masking
up.
tape.
And,
No.
and I want it to kind of like be there for a long time and be pretty.
Double-sided sticky tape?
No tape, because it has sticky like tape,
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't stick to the rubber.
Huh. E6000 glue.
E6000, I thought about E6000. um I'm not sure if it will work or not. I have yet to try it. I didn't have any, but I did get some silicone glue because I looked it up, and I looked up some information where it said silicone glue would work, and that still didn't work. So instead, I actually have found bracelets that have the little things built in, and they're actually even nicer bracelets, because then I can gift these to people with, when they tap this on their phone, it gives them a positive, happy message. So
That's cool.
show them they're nuts.
That's cool.
Matter of fact, there's actually a place, one of my favorite places, and I've spent way too much money on, is they make bracelets of that on purpose. They're from a place, and I'm not even getting maybe I need a sponsor.
I was gonna say.
Kleenex as a sponsor, and we need Zox, ZOX. These are
ZOX.
made with water bottles, recycled water bottles. They're numbered, and when you tap them, it gives you a message. And my most recent one says, "Thanks for noticing," and it's Eeyore.
Oh.
And when you tap it, it gives you a message that's, yeah. So apparently the Breakthrough Show Network has asked Zox already to so I'm just putting, like, Zox, here we go. We love you. We love the fact that you have tap
Mm-hmm.
joy bracelets, and we'd love to have you as a sponsor. Um because it's a way to not only give somebody joy by giving them a bracelet, but every time they tap their bracelet on a friend's phone, it's like it passes the joy on,
Really?
on. Yeah. And they're just really cool bracelets. And so I had the idea of, how could I make some out of those rubberized bracelets that were the same so that I could gift more of them, because I can't afford as many Zoxes. That I love the Zox and I have plenty of them of my own, and have gifted quite a few. I'm going to continue to do that, but I wanted to mass gift them and I can't afford
Uh-huh.
that yet. So
That's cool.
yeah, I love the fact
Taking
that
notes over here.
yeah, I love the fact that it gives somebody not only the gift that they wear on their wrist and they're looking at it and thinking of you,
Mm-hmm.
but that when they tap somebody else's phone, it gives that other person a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, like, goes on. And that was, like, what I loved about it. Because to me, I think one of my values must be joy. It's not at the top, integrity's at the top. Um, and I think the joy, though, also goes along with the do no harm.
Yeah.
It's do no harm, but also bring joy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, you know, and joy is one of the reasons that this network actually even exists. So, um, let me see here. Story of a so here's another piece of our of the show, is where we talk about interactive, like, stories. So as a an unexpected guest, let me know if you have an answer to this story, and if you don't, that's okay. I'll see if I can come up with one, or
Okay.
we'll see if the audience can come up with one. So a story. We're gonna share a story. I'm telling you, today, words. Is Mercury in retrograde?
I don't know.
Because Mercury usually doesn't jack my technology, because I was born during Mercury retrograde, but it jacks my communications all to where I cannot communicate anything right. It puts my foot in my mouth and all sorts of things. So it's like, but I've been having some tech issues lately, and so I'm wondering if Mercury's just really in a retrograde or something. Something's in retrograde, I'm sure, always. So share a story of a relationship that was strengthened by shared values.
Okay. This is something I just started doing. It's called a salon.
Ooh.
It's not a beauty salon, and I had never heard of it until, I don't know, September or October. Somebody on Substack was talking about having a salon. So I got a book called, where is it? Creating a Salon on Amazon, and I decided to have one. I have one online, I have one in my house, but the one I want to talk about is the one in my house. So
Okay.
I invited, I don't know, I invited quite a few people, but to the first one, we had 3 people show up. And because of all of us have a common value of time and relationships, and not just a relationship, but being
Mhm.
authentic. And it was just beautiful. It was beautiful. And I can't wait. I'm going to do that in person once a month. We started off with a carry-in dinner. Everybody brought something,
Uh-huh.
and then had a topic that we talked about. And it was, I think everyone should do that.
I
Either attend
do.
one or hold one in your house,
Or even holding one online.
even
'Cause I know
online.
you've
Yeah.
done one online, and it reminds me of, Soul Saturday Coffee,
Mm,
in the Breakthrough Show Network every Saturday morning, and it's a group of people show up, and whoever's there when the time that the doors get locked,
mhm.
if you're not there on time, the doors get locked, and it's not a mean thing, it's just that's a protective shell around
Yeah.
whoever's there that day, and there's a topic, and it's a place to share your yourself about a particular topic, and to really connect with other humans.
So that's a salon.
It's a salon.
It's
It's
a salon. That's
It's Soul
beautiful.
Saturday Salon.
Yeah.
And so Sparkle Squirrel
Yay.
now has a an in-person salon, and I love the sparkles on that. Sparkle
That's
Squirrel just
awesome.
showed up in the back. I love it. I love it. Um,
Thank you, Jessica.
so and the idea of having a salon of and it's kind of a like it's a cool name that's like,
Mhm.
I'm sure that the concept of salon, it sounds Victorian when
Yeah,
you
it's
think
from
about it that way.
18th, 19th century in Europe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I wonder if our more current view of what salon is, being a beauty salon,
Mhm.
but if you think about what happens in a quote
Exact.
unquote beauty salon is a group of people. Yes, they're working on a particular activity together, working on hair or nails or whatever's, but there's always like shared discussions. I know the gal who does my favorite nail tech, she talks about kind of being a therapist to people
Yes. Yeah.
because people talk about their deep stuff
Mhm.
while they're in a beauty salon chair. And
Mhm.
I've actually been the one getting my nails done, but hearing somebody else talk about their stuff, and I've as a therapist, that's what I do for a living. I have, brought that piece of me
Mhm.
and gifted it to, just because I do it as a profession doesn't mean I can't take that away when I'm, like, at a friend's house. It's part of who I am,
Mhm.
and people who know me, they kinda sometimes get therapist that way, although I have to be careful because you don't just step in that role with somebody because sometimes it's stepping on their toes. So you have to be careful how you do that, and really mostly either when somebody asks for it or you wanna ask them of, "Is it okay if I offer a bit of something?"
Mhm.
Um, because you don't just wanna force that onto someone either. Um, there talk about values. Oh, my profession has it's we have some great values and we have ethics that sometimes conflict with our values. Like, we're givers of human connection, but we also hold it back to keep people from being harmed. And and sometimes that can be um a challenge because you want to help someone.
Mhm.
You see the fact that they could use help, but if they haven't asked you for it, it's not necessarily appropriate.
That's a hard one.
Whereas if I were just a common human being that way, and I'm joking when I say that because hello, right? If I was not a therapist, I wouldn't think twice about it. I wouldn't think twice about giving myself to someone, giving the help to someone. But because I'm in those shoes as a therapist, I have to think about it differently. And people don't realize what a kind of a weird conundrum that ends up being. unless they're in the profession. And sometimes it's because we do it for protection, for malpractice protection, to be honest, and which is
Oh,
another whole sad thing.
yeah. Even
So,
if you're not on the clock, you have to do that?
oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have to protect my license no matter what I'm doing. So I have to be careful of how I present myself. And it's kind of like, if someone is a physician, a nurse, a social worker, it's those licenses that we hold to do what we do for other humans, that we have to protect that license
Mm-hmm.
no matter where we're at, even when we're in, like, I could be at your salon
Mm-hmm.
being Stacy, but I would need to be careful of how I presented myself such that I didn't, let's say somebody brought up something about harming themselves or others, suicidal, homicidal, or they're in a dangerous
Yeah.
situation. I would have to decide, do I go, like, and there's a place where I would have to decide to protect the person. So, like, there's these things that we have to do or not do based on that license and that thing, which in some ways keeps us from being true, authentic
That's
humans.
true. Mm-hmm.
And we're in a human profession. It's really like when you get down to it, in a way, it's like really a mess to think about,
Mm-hmm.
because came into the profession to be of service and value to other humans. Yet sometimes I have to hold that back, or I have to put it in where it doesn't belong, or where somebody might be going, you're getting involved in somebody else's business. But if somebody else's business means somebody's at risk of hurting themselves, others, or
Yeah.
they're getting hurt, I have to, or advocating, we'll bring Alice back. Alice is there because sometimes I have to be Alice and advocate for those who don't have a voice, even when that puts me at risk
Mm-hmm.
of being a target.
Well, I think today's world has a hard time understanding that sometimes you have to hear the truth, even if it hurts, for your own good, for the higher good.
But how do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we how do like, as a human, we should have certain responsibilities to each other,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in that sometimes we don't rise up to them.
Yeah. It's
And
easier to just stick your head in the stand or walk past
yeah,
the
I
person laying on the road. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't see it, I can't see it, I'm not gonna, yeah. And then sometimes it's, by walking past is, you know, the evil thing to do.
Mm.
Where we really have the responsibility to be kind and whatever to the human. Oh, and Jessica brings up of course she brings up, there's some good stuff over here. I'm gonna go backwards in it though, because but then the question is, what is the truth? Because and there's no good answer to that one, obviously. Although I will say that where the way I make that decision is what is the other humans, what is their truth. So in this case, if I were asking you, I would be concerned of what is Carolee's truth, because Carolee's truth may not be mine, but that being your truth is the important part, or what is Jessica's truth, right? As I tell my clients, I say, you're the captain of your ship. I'm just the navigator, because I can never know fully your truth. It's not possible. The only thing I can do is know as much as I can so that I can then help support you where you are, where you are. And it may not be anything I completely understand as an individual. I might not even understand it, but my job is to be there to hold you up as a human. And we speak truth. So Sangs, we speak truth. It's up to the person to acknowledge truth. It may be soon or a million years from now. But we each speak our own truth. But my truth may not be somebody else's truth.
If it's truth, though, is it truth for everyone? Like, is there a standard of truth that is true for everyone?
I don't think so. I think the only thing that's true for everyone is that we each have our own truth. That's where I've finally come to land and that's mine, is
maybe we need to define truth.
And I'm gonna do the Google that thing of okay. So the definition, which is just a truth in definition, it's just the standardized thing that we say truth is
from a dictionary.
Is the quality of being in accord with a fact or reality, a concept that is central to philosophy, logic, and everyday life. In common usage, it refers to a true or accepted statement, genuine or factual content, or honesty and reliability. Now, the question is, when you're looking at it, I go back over this and go, truth is the quality of being in accord with fact or reality. Well, the fact that water is composed of hydrogen and oxygen, I think that's something like in this life, on this planet, what we describe as water is made of hydrogen and oxygen.
So that would be truth for everyone.
Which would be a fact or truth, right? Now, what if on another planet, right, they call water something that's made of, carbon and oxygen? I don't know. But the word reality in this definition kind of messes with me because we each have our own reality. And what I would say, and the reason I say that is from my training in neuro-linguistic programming, is we each have an internalized representation of the world.
Worldview.
Every single one. And each of those is inside of our noggins. And there are no two noggins biologically or experientially the same.
Our subconscious is truth.
But each of us has our own truth.
Our subconscious always tells the truth
to us as our truth. I'm going to keep going there. I'm going to hold on to that one, and I'd argue it to the whatever, just because I think there's no way to know. I cannot ever know what Carolee's truth is. I can't, because I can't get in your head and know the experiences you've had and the things that you know. It's not possible for me to get in there. And it's the same. Thankfully, nobody's able to get in and find out what squirrel really is. Thankfully, because that would be like dangerous for all of us. Actions are perceived truth humans create based on their experience. I would say actions may or may not be, but perceived truth, we each have our own perception of what truth is. We each have our own perceived truth, for sure.
So maybe there's absolute truth and there's perceived truth.
Go tell me more about that, because I want to hear how you view that one.
Well, I'm just thinking as I'm talking.
I know.
Perceived truth would be what you're saying, where everybody has their own truth. That would be everybody has their own perceived truth.
Their own individual truths.
Right.
Right.
But
8.2 billion.
but it seems like there must be an absolute truth, whether people perceive it or not.
I
That,
wonder
yeah,
I wonder if the absolute truth is the combined truth of all of our truths.
maybe.
When you were saying it, that's just where my brain went. It was like, I wonder if that's like the, absolute truth is the combined truth. And depending on your views of, are we all part of one whole? And we're all separate parts of one whole, that our individual truth and the totality of those things are both true at the same time.
Hmm.
They're both absolute at the same time. I know we're trying to solve the world
We're
problems
becoming philosophers here.
with the relationship glue, right? Because I think no one once I wrapped my head around what I think of as individual representations, our own internal representation of the world, and that there's 8.2 billion people on the planet at any given time, give or take, that means there are 8.2 billion truths that are true at any given time, and that I have no way to say that someone else's truth is invalid, because that invalidates my truth. And that that each of our truths is valid. It has to be. And so also, when you realize that each of our truths is valid, then that redefines the word respect. I have to respect that your truth, however it is you perceive it, however it is you've built it, is a valid truth. And when I truly respect that as a valid truth, I have true respect for you. That's my personal description of it, of course. My personal truth about about the word respect. But it changed the way I view and it changed the way I see what other people do. And to one
So,
extent or another, it actually helped me let go of being upset when someone else does something, because I realize they're doing what they need to do within their truth. It helped me change my view of loving another human by respecting their truth. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's what works for Stacy.
yeah. So, can people be wrong then, if in the way you're looking at things?
That's a good question. I don't know if I would use the word wrong, or if I would use, can people be harmful to other people?
Confused.
I would say the only thing someone could be wrong about is anybody could be wrong about describing my truth, because they have no way to know it any more than I have theirs. Or they could be harmful to another human being. I think instead of using the word harm or wrong, I would use, are they harming someone? Yeah, like Sang says, if my perceived truth is mine, how am I wrong? I don't know that I'd use the words right or wrong. It's almost like those words disappear in my perception, they disappear.
So, what if, let's take a child, for example. If a
Mm,
child was convinced they could fly and that's their perceived truth,
mhm.
are they wrong?
I don't know
Like,
if they're
would you
wrong,
want to
but they're at
correct them
risk
or
they're
let
at risk
them
of
act
harming
on that?
themselves for sure
Yeah,
if they act on that, but
but
I
you're
don't
correcting
know.
in love. Your motive for correcting is love and concern.
but should you correct them, or should you just let them know that, or somehow come back around that where it's keeping them safe? I don't know whether I'd sang. Bringing the juice. Girls, bring the juice. Comparing, well, and wisdom, we know, gosh, boy, and then we get into, like, if it's a child is more often in their unconscious mind, and so they're just now putting their learn, because it's the laws of physics is, I think, what you're the laws of physics say we can't fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that as adults because we've learned what the laws of physics are. But I don't know if I would describe the laws of physics as right or wrong. Like, I don't know if I'd want to use the words right and wrong. And maybe that's because the words right and wrong come with feelings of perceptions and feelings of shame.
Mm.
Right?
Would it be confusion instead, or what would you say if somebody thought they could fly and that's not?
I know that it's that according to the laws of physics,
That's
that
good,
it's
Jessica.
not likely. Yeah, I think if and maybe whether it's a child who thinks they could fly, turning it into a homeschool project, but maybe even if it's another adult.
Yeah.
I think we have a responsibility to each other to help do what we can to keep each other safe as humans. So would you try and help that person, like, stay safe? And there we go with an ethical dilemma, from a big old ethical dilemma of, let's say there's an adult on top of a building who thinks they can fly.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And that's going to cause them harm to self or others.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? And that's, we're back in those areas where I know my profession has some serious decisions that we make that may or may not be respectful of the other person's internal representation. But then you also think of, like, are they going to kill themselves by flying off the building?
Yeah.
Because their perception is they're flying. My perception is you're going to fall on your face and you're going to break your neck. And both of us are right. Their perception is their internal representation, they can fly, is right, as in it's correct. It's okay for that to be their internal representation, but it's also against the laws of physics, and therefore they're dangerous where they might, or therefore it's dangerous where they might be able to they're going to hurt themselves. So I think there's that's when the gray areas of ethics and the challenges get really hard. Get really hard. And can you do both at the same time?
If the motive, I think it's motive. If your motive is do no harm and your motive is loving, then you're not going to be wrong. If you, or boy, we're getting into words. Carolee, that person can't fly, so why is that not wrong?
Well, it's the laws of physics say they're going to harm them, that it's not likely they can fly. Their perception that they can fly is valid. Maybe that's a better word.
But valid is different than right.
True. Well, true or not. Valid. Their perception is valid.
Uh-huh. But that doesn't mean it's right.
It's against the laws of physics. I still wouldn't use the word right and wrong.
Correct? What word would you use? Correct?
I would say it's against the laws of physics, because that's literally what the thing is it's coming up against, that's going to potentially cause them harm, is the laws of physics say gravity. Right? And so the laws of physics tell me that person is in danger.
So maybe the absolute truth, if there's an absolute truth, maybe it would be based on laws, like laws of physics, or the laws that govern our world that we can't do anything about. Maybe that would be absolute truth.
So is the invisible laws?
Maybe.
because you start talking about the word law, people are going to perceive.
Well, you said laws of physics. That's where I got the word.
Right. No. I agree.
Yeah.
So it's like, laws of physics. Let's just call those the rules or the laws of physics, but those aren't laws like legislative, man-made laws.
True.
It's
Yeah.
like physics says that you are going to fall if you jump off of a building.
Universal laws.
Yeah, the universe says this is what happens when you jump off a building. And that you are in danger if you jump off of a building without some kind of mechanical device to keep you hovered up above. We've been, I mean, as humans, we've been playing with and trying to overcome those laws of physics probably our whole existence.
And maybe it's possible. Maybe.
Well, I mean, there wouldn't be airplanes if it wasn't
That's
possible.
true.
I
Yeah.
mean, we know that is none of us would have ever been on an airplane. So I love Jessica's turn it into a homeschool project and allow them to draw their own conclusion.
As long as they stay safe.
That's beautiful, is because you're allowing learning. You're allowing those synapses you're allowing them to create their own internal representation of what that scenario looks like. What does it look like if someone is going to fly or not? And everybody is learning self. We go through life, we get here into this life, and we start with a blank slate, whether it's by choice or not, that's, up in the air. But we start with this blank slate, and then we build on it, and we build knowledge of things like scientific knowledge, like laws of physics. We build biological knowledge. We build psychological knowledge, thinking and feeling. We build social knowledge of each other, and we build spiritual knowledge. And all of those things come together and form wisdom also. And I think and the way I built mine is just as valid as the way you built yours. And it's when we allow ourselves to listen to what that other person's their build process and the things they've built, it's the interchange there that I think is that relationship glue. Right? It reminds me, like, I just flashed back to our discussion last week, listening to you talk about your joy of learning a new instrument. Where in my brain, I'm like, that does not sound like joy to me. Like for Stacy, right? But for me, learning a new computer program is joy. And that might not be joy to you, right? And so like the things that we each do as humans, and that it is, but I remember the other day, like, loving the fact, like, I could feel your joy just talking about learning that new instrument. And like, I could feel the vibration of your joy. And to me, it didn't matter whether I would ever choose to learn an instrument or not. That like does not matter at all. What was cool was, here's my friend Carolee, and she's getting ready to get this new, just backstory, everybody. Carolee got a new instrument in the mail that she has just learned and wants to, so it's like, it was fun watching another human anticipate their new toy that they're going to learn these things from, and like feeling your joy. And had I not come to that, had you and I not come in that room together the other day, we would not have been able to share that thing.
Yeah.
And I think that really, like, and I'm kind of trying to bring us back, but also just,
yeah, we went on a rabbit trail instead of a squirrel trail.
That's how things happen in here. But it really is all of what we've talked about is that relationship glue. The things that bring the relationships together, and the time that I spent that day, the time we've spent today, the time Sang and Jessica has spent with us, is that it's none of us can ever quote unquote get that time back, because scientifically right now we haven't figured out how to time travel. Doesn't mean it won't happen. We just I don't know how to do it right now. So we quote unquote spent the time that we can't get back. But I think I know I have spent this last hour in wonder and thought that's going to keep going through my day of how you view and how we, because it's going to keep I'm going to keep playing this one through the day of Carolee kept saying right and wrong. And what do I think of that? And are there definitions of that I haven't thought of? Because that is an important piece of where she was coming from. And, I'm going to think on it simply because that's how my brain works. Right. Is had I just gone, oh, well, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter. I'm discounting you. And to me, that's harmful for you. And therefore, and so like, I'm going to think through that and think through, how do I view the words right or wrong? And why did it cause it brought up feels.
Wow.
When you said the right versus wrong thing, it brought up feels for me. And I'm like, anytime anything brings up feels, that's something that I go, oh, I need to think on that some more. I need to understand why that brought up feels. And is there a reason for that I can resolve for Stacy?
Yeah.
Such that I can understand Carolee even more.
Yeah. So for me, that's just a natural part of my terminology, maybe because of the way I was raised. I don't know. But it's not a judgmental right and wrong, just to clarify.
And no need for the clarification, but thank you for the clarification, both. Right? I really appreciate that. See, because it could be perceived that it's a judgmental word right and wrong. And in some places it is.
Yes, for sure.
And coming from you, so now I know that little bit more of Carolee's internal representation says that when she uses the phrase right or wrong, it's not a judgment. Right?
Right. I mean, I could go off in a whole tangent on that. But.
And I think that's just a teeny tiny piece of that we're like really breaking it down and getting into the weeds of it. But into the weeds of it is where then I understand you as a human just that much more. And so is spending of time or some people might say wasting time. I don't see this as a waste of time.
Investing. We're investing.
We're investing in a relationship.
Yeah. We should, in my opinion, we should think about time always as an investment. Always.
Ooh, there's the mic drop right there. Time is always an investment.
So do you want it to have a return, or are you going to waste your investment?
Or what is your ROI? Because everyone's ROI might be different.
True.
I was just typing something in and now I'm changing it. What is the ROI you want for your investment?
So then that'll decide how you invest your time.
And it will decide it helps you decide how you invest your time, and it helps you decide where it goes in your representation of what you've done. Because to one person, spending time on a computer working on something might be a waste of time.
Mm.
But to another, it might be investing in their knowledge building.
Mm-hmm.
To one person, it might be wasting their time where they could be doing self-care. And to another, it could actually be their self-care. And I bring that example up only because
Yeah.
it came up the other day. And to me, being on a computer building something is self-care. But to somebody else, it's frustration and it's horrid, right? And
Right.
I would never want to say that like what is self-care to me is self-care to someone else, because it's
Absolutely.
absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think honoring each other's, and I'm going to go back to honoring each other's truth. So time is always an investment. I love that, because it is. If you see it as an investment as opposed to a waste, if you define it that way, it puts the positivity into it. And so
Mm-hmm.
time is always an investment, but it's what is the ROI you want for your investment of your time?
Mm-hmm. You have a choice.
And it's the honoring of what another person's ROI investment and time is.
Mm-hmm.
Because if yours is different than mine, I need to honor that yours is different and respect it. And even, I dare say, how can I contribute to the ROI you are intending to get for the time that you and I are investing together?
Mm-hmm.
Carolee, you are amazing. I knew that before we got here. But I knew that before we got here, and I have so loved having you sit in and show me your nuts today.
It's
I
been
have
a
loved that.
pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank
I
you for
know before the show, before we even talked about you being on the show, there was, I think one of the questions you brought to me was, but what can I bring? And now and I knew then that you would bring value. And you have brought that value. Is I knew by investing our time that you would bring value to this show that would help other humans.
Good.
And you have. It's spades, my dear. It's spades. We're gonna go with Jessica. We're gonna write a book based on just
Right?
comments out of today's show.
Uh-huh.
If you're investing your time in something that doesn't match your ROI, that's when we need to ask ourselves questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you're investing your time in something that doesn't match your intended ROI or your desired ROI, then you've got to ask yourself the question, are you investing your time in the right places, spaces, people, things?
Yeah.
And it ties to the here she goes. She drops the microphone, not just through the floor, but through like China. I see it everywhere. It ties the importance of community and accountability together. Is that and that we have accountability to each other as humans to honor others' decisions on how they invest their time or not. And I would dare say to be cognizant of how another human spends their time with you or not with you based on previous equations of the ROI that you've had together. So to try and remember or to bring that together is what I mean is I know that you and I had I had huge dividends from the other day from our discussion. One, just joy and relaxation, and it's hard for me to relax. So it's like, to me, that was it's like Carolee made me chill that day, and I needed it. And therefore I knew that it was a valuable period of time.
Oh, good.
And that like our going deeper into a topic. I knew you would be, and I just knew I knew from multiple interactions, you would be a valuable addition to this show. And therefore, that's where I make the decision. The next decision I make was is invite Carol. When Carolee said, "Hey, we talked about me being on the show," and I'm like, and then we were talking about time, and it was like, "Ooh, can you come on Tuesday? Because I think it'll fit perfectly. Because your view of time being investment, and we didn't even say time as an investment the other day. I don't think I heard you say that
No,
until
I don't think I
now.
did. Yeah.
And it which is even more beautiful because we went through the journey we went through today for you to say time is an investment. And I hope that that brings someone in our audience a different understanding of how they invest their time and their in chosen ROI for themselves of their time, but also the respect, honoring, and understanding what someone else's ROI might be and how I can contribute to their ROI in our joint investment. I think it's the joint investment that I was going for there.
Mm.
Is that understanding that how can we jointly invest our time so that we both come out with even more, right?
Mhm.
It's almost like the stock market um, for human connection and for relationship. Because you and I now know each other even more. We know Jessica and Sang even more. And so that
Mhm.
the next time the four of us are in a room, it's going to go the next level and the next level and the next level because
Yeah.
we have invested that. Oh. And I'm going to look at I can't even remember what next week's show title is. And I'm not even I don't have it next to me of next week's show title. Um we're going to wrap up values and talk
Next
about
week.
we're going to wrap up values next week, and then we're going to go into beliefs in December. So to me, values are the building blocks of beliefs. And yeah, next month is going to be wild, y'all, cuz beliefs are absolutely individual. We can share beliefs, but they are absolutely individually built things. So when we talk about shared things, we're back to we can share them, but we also can have they're also individual. We have to respect the individuality, but we also connect in our relationship glue where they're shared.
Mhm.
And then that shared investment of time together creates additional ROI of relationship glue. I think we just found the equation. I don't know. I may have to replay that one back. And Jessica's leaving us all with the last thought of, is how you invest your time a top value for you? What do you think, Carolee? Is
For
that
me.
is how you invest the time a top value for you?
Mhm. Mhm.
I think I understood. That's how I understood your description of time being valuable to you before.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm gonna say yes and on my answer to that. I'm gonna say how I invest my time is valuable to me, but I also see it as a flexible investment.
Yeah, I mean, to me, built into that investment is time that doesn't have to be uh, free time, I guess. Freedom, time freedom.
Ooh,
So it's not all about just doing, it's being, time for being. I guess that's what I want to
yeah.
say.
And I love that. Number 1, because that is one of the hardest things for me to do. I am very much of a, I'm in when you look at human design, I'm a generator.
Mm.
And for me as a generator, generating things and generating ideas, generating whatever, all the doing
Mhm.
is who I am. So by being a generator, am I being Stacy?
Mm.
Or sometimes it would be nice to just be and not have to generate.
Well,
Right?
generators still have to charge. They have to be charged.
I charge myself by when I generate, I actually charge more. I charge myself up. And so like the idea of discharging,
Okay.
of sitting back and discharging
Uh-huh.
is my challenge. And so because if I'm faced with a weekend that's open in time, like I don't have anything I have to do
Mhm.
and I could just be, if I have to I struggle to keep that open because there's always something I could do. Or if someone says, "Hey, can you do this for me or with me?" I jump right in because the doing for others is such a high value for me. And so I will give up my own being
Hmm.
to do for another.
Yeah.
And so my human self that needs recharged batteries and needs to do some being once in a while will give self up for another person to do for another person.
It's beautiful.
And exhausting
Mhm.
at the same time. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think rabbit holes, squirrel rounds.
Squirrels in rabbit holes.
We wrangled a few. I mean, I think we wrangled a few by coming up with a really cool equation about time. I think the equation we came up with time is awesome because I very rarely like fully listen to one of my shows after it's done. Um and I'm gonna go back and find that specific piece and write down. That may even be my article of the week is the equation of time.
I think was it about 1:15? 1 minute, 1 hour 15?
Somewhere around there, yeah. That's all right. AI will find it for me.
Oh,
Um, I'm all about using the tools for their greatest good because,
absolutely.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'll have AI find it for me, and that's probably gonna be my article of the week because I usually take our shows and I turn it into some kind of article. Although I just dropped an article the other day that wasn't from a show, it was from an idea that somebody else gave me, and it's, the title of the article is, "What are your balls made of?" Because if you have a glass ball, it could shatter if you drop it.
Is that on Substack?
It's actually on Substack. The original article's on Numi, and then the second version of the article, which is still good, but I really like the Numi one. Yeah, what are your balls made of? And it's like if you drop a glass ball, it could shatter. And so which of your things in life are your glass balls that you protect?
Mm. Mm.
Which ones are foam? Which ones are rubber? Which ones are I'm not gonna oh Sangs are made of glitter and Carolines are made of sparkles.
Well, glitters, sparkles, yeah, anything that sparkles. Twinkle
Because
lights.
sparkle squirrel and glitter squirrel. Now we need one for both of you because Sang and Carolee together make sparkle and glitter squirrels. Which I just visualize the two of you sparkling and glittering the world.
Yep.
And the world needs your sparkles and your glitters because some of us get in funks. I started my morning in a funk today, and now I have glitter and sparkles everywhere. Like,
Yay.
woohoo! Yeah, and Sang brings the crown. Always. Girl's got the crown on. Uh-oh. Girlie's got one too.
I do. Yeah.
Ooh. Is yours green?
Mm-hmm.
I love. And I'm trying to get mine. I do keep one next to my chair
Ooh.
at the urging of Sang. Actually, I probably should pack it because I'm going to be in the same physical location as Sang tomorrow, and maybe I need to bring it.
Ooh, yeah.
She's going to tell me, of course, bring it. I'm going to say, what if it gets bent in my bag, right?
I want to get one that's made of crystals. Have you seen those?
No.
They are a financial investment.
Oh,
But-
of like crystals, like
crystals.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're beautiful. I'll have to share a picture with you. I'll have to go find.
Yeah, Jessica, you deserve multiple crowns. One for the beach, and one for the house, and one and I know who Santa is. I will talk to Santa about or we'll make sure. Yeah. I don't know what it is about Show Me Your Nuts and crowns, but I think it's not because I personally wear them a lot. It's the Sang effect.
The Sang effect. I like that.
Another hashtag.
Yeah.
The Sang effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Sang effect. When Sang's there around, everybody just feels so much more comfortable to put their crown on because she's brought it. So I'm actually now thinking this is probably the longest Show Me Your Nuts ever.
Oh no. I was wondering how long it usually was.
We go as long as we go. And we needed to go this long today because the time that we were investing and the shared ROI that we were getting, it's the gift that keeps giving. I'm gonna have my crown, my tiara on today, and every time I look at it, I'm gonna think of Sang, Carolee, and Jessica. That's just what today is gonna bring, and apparently that's what I needed. So, thank you, universe. Thank you, Carolee. Thank you, Miss Sang, for the Sang effect, and Jessica for the Breakthrough Show Network. Always.
Thank you, everyone. Mm-hmm. It's been beautiful.
I might have to add some more chairs in here and have a group of us on one day. We could have a salon we could do a Show Me Your Nuts salon. I will consider that. I'm trying
once a month it could be a salon.
I'm looking at planning maybe a pop-up salon. Maybe we'll do a pop-up salon once in a while in the Show Me Your Nuts, and it'll be a special episode. I'm looking at planning next year, so those are some good ideas. So thank you so much, Carolee, and thank you to our audience. I will see you guys next week where we wrap up values and get ready to slide into using those values as building blocks for our beliefs. So
thank you. Thank you so much.
I will see you guys then.
Thank you for joining us on this nutty adventure. Remember, personal growth and wellness are journeys best taken together. Keep exploring, keep growing, and don't forget to show me your nuts next time.